Hey guys, Mark again here. This time we are in Mill Hill and we're doing a mock test. So the learner didn't want to be on camera, which is why we're using the dash cam today. But it's still going to be a really nice drive, so stay tuned. So the thing about this learner is it's from a different instructor. He contacted me and wants to do a mock test, but he's only done 16 hours. So I was a bit reluctant because obviously normally the 16 hours is not really enough for most people to be thinking seriously about doing a mock test. But once I met him and he drove a little bit, I was really surprised. So just watch how he drives and I'll talk you through it. So he did do quite an intensive 16 hours is what he told me, which is probably why some people can really do well in intensive courses. Some people need more time, do a bit of learning and then come back. But this guy was really good for someone who's only done 16 hours. So yeah, let's see how he does. So this one's a bit of a blind turn here. You can't really see the left properly, which is why he's paused there for a bit, which is a good idea. And once it was clear, he's moved on again. Taking it nice and easy for the first bit, because you don't want to rush on these roads here. They're not that fast. Another one where you have to look really over your shoulder here, kind of to look to the left, because you can't really see properly what's coming from there. So this section is 30 miles an hour, but we're coming up to something here, so it doesn't make sense to speed up too much. And turning left at this roundabout. This one's on a hill, slight hedge on the side. Remember, this is a manual car, so you need to have good clutch control to do this properly without rolling back, without stalling, and he's done that really well. So I've had learners try to overtake cyclists on this bit here. Don't do that. It's not wide enough, and it's also on a hill as well. You can't really see what's coming up the hill, so just wait until you've gone over and wait until there's more space. So with cyclists, don't be in a rush to overtake them. Here we're pulling up on the left, and he stopped right on the edge of that box, which is nice. And then we're driving on again. So I've cut some of the boring bits out because there's not really much going on. So this video is going to be a bit shorter than the other test, but it's still going to show the whole route, but just without some of the boring bits. Coming up to a stop sign where a lot of people fell here. Let's see how he does. Good, coming to a full stop. And then carrying on, because there was nothing really there, but he had to stop and he did really nicely. So well done. Road's a bit narrow here, especially with that van parked on the other side. So here we'll be checking the right mirror and then going round that parked car. So now we're in a 20 zone. Done really well there. So with joggers, you need to be very careful, because if it was just someone walking normally, he probably could have just gone round them. I think he was trying to move there, but then the car was coming quite fast and he's gone on the wrong side as well, which is why he had to wait a little bit. Wasn't sure what that car was doing. So you can see they were going into a 30 zone now as we're pulling over. So obviously you can't really see what's inside the car, but he was doing really good looking around, which is, you don't really expect someone who's only done 16 hours, but he's kind of instilled that, or his instructor instilled that into him really well. Here we're following signs for burnt oak, which is going to be left at the first roundabout and then left at the second roundabout. So he's positioning himself already towards the left, which is good, and not getting too close to the van in front. So he's just checking the right, make sure there's nothing coming. Then there he goes, well done. Second roundabout, you got to check again, make sure it's safe. And done. So the mistake people make there is they don't check the second roundabout. But our learner did that really well there. And here pulling over in a safe place, so you notice he's gone past the zigzag lines, he's going past the drop curb and stopping by the raised curb before the next drop curve. So that was really good. And then driving on again. So sometimes when you're waiting to move off, it can take quite a long time because of traffic that might be coming on that road or anything that's stopping you from coming out. So don't feel stressed out and rush to come out if it's busy. Just be patient, keep checking your mirror, and then once it's safe, just check over your right shoulder again and then move on. So here we're going straight second exit. Signaling left there. A little bit hesitant on that roundabout. I think those cars that were on the right were turning to go left. Sometimes they don't have their signal on, which you have to be careful then. You don't want to go if they look like they're going straight, because sometimes people don't signal there, they just turn left without any signal. Making a bit of space for that bus, checking that right mirror, then moving on again. These traffic lights were turning right. You can see the lanes there clearly marked that you need to be in the right lane to turn right. And you stop nicely, but for some reason the car behind has decided to go over there, which is really strange, but okay. And then he's gone. That was a nice turn. So some people, other drivers will do weird things around you. Just don't let that faze you. As long as you're doing the right thing, just concentrate on your drive. Turning left here. When you turn here, make sure you keep an eye on these lights, because you see they were changing them, but they were changing kind of late, so you don't need to worry about that. But here, could have done a bit more planning here to go around this car, because the car was parked. Maybe he thought the car was moving, but he left it a bit late to go into the other lane. So it takes a lot of confidence to do what Learner just did there. So there's people, you know, approaching him from both sides, but he's got priority, but he's got to keep moving, but in a safe way, and he's done that really well. So he was letting them know that he knows he's got priority without being too forceful, but also without being too chicken. And then if they think that he's not coming, they will move in front of him, but they didn't do that. So that was really good of our learner to do what he did there. For whatever reason, a lot of learners fail at this traffic light here. Again, our learner took a bit long to move to the front there. But a lot of people fail here because they either don't see the cars coming down, or they think they can just turn in front of them, or they miss the green arrow light telling them to move. But not in this situation it was fine. So getting to the end of this road, turning left. So width restrictions, do not go for your test unless you've tried one of these before, because a lot of people kind of misjudge how wide they are, or they misjudge how fast they are going when they're going towards it. You need to go really slowly through that in gear 1 if you're driving a manual. Make sure you go super slow, and then also judging the space on the left and right. It's not as easy as some people think, so definitely practice that before you go for your test. So here the motorbike is waiting for us and we're waiting for the car on the right. It did seem quite a while waiting there. Can't really see how far away the car was, but if you're not sure whether to go or not, the best thing to do is wait. You don't want to rush, because most people fell for going too soon rather than taking too long to move. So in other words, you're more likely to fail for going too early rather than hesitating. So if you're unsure, just go for the safer option and wait to see if it's safe for you to go. So here, a lot of speed bumps. It's also a 20-mile-an-hour road as well, so no need to go crazy with the speed. Nice right turn. So those cars that were coming towards us were quite far away and they weren't moving towards us that quickly. But if a car is coming towards you in that situation there and they've got a green light, make sure you wait. Don't cut anybody up. Then down this very narrow road here, you want to be looking for spaces on the left and the right, but we got through there nicely to another width restriction. Very well done. Then we're turning left at the end of the road. And then right straight away. So you want to be dealing with the zebra crossing first and then think about your right turn here. So you see the arrow directing you to that box, so he's positioning himself nicely. Waiting for a safe gap. So here he stalled here because he tried to go a bit too quickly. But he restarted the car by pressing the clutch down and waiting for another gap. So sometimes stalls do happen, it's just about how you recover from them. Okay, so we're approaching a zebra crossing, but there seems like something's going on here. We've got the fire engine on the left, and we've also got a bunch of people on the right hand side there. I think something happened at the crossing where somebody got injured. So we're approaching zebra crossing slowly because obviously it's a situation happening here. That person is crossing, but if you look to your left, we've got another person approaching the crossing, and then now they're by the crossing actually, but our learners decided to move. So you should have really waited for that person there, and that person had to stop and wait for us to go past while they kind of got there as before we started moving. So that was actually a serious fault for pedestrian crossings there. So to avoid that fault, what you want to do before you move off, check both sides of the crossing. Just don't be in a rush to move, just wait until it's safe on both sides and then start moving. here we're going to pull over on the right to do the right reverse. Sometimes they might even ask you a bit later and you can end up on the bit that's curved over there, and you still have to reverse back without hitting the curb, which makes it a bit trickier. But if you practice this, it shouldn't be too difficult. Just a matter of looking around, reversing back really slowly, and then keep checking your mirror to make sure you're not going to hit the curb. And this one takes a lot of patience as well, because sometimes there's cars going past you, you gotta wait for them to go past first. Then once they've gone past, you gotta look around again and then carry on. So if it takes long because of cars around, that's what it does. Don't be in a rush. Then it comes to moving off again, so you've done that really well, going straight to our side. Then into a meeting situation with the boss, but the boss is waiting over there. Then you can carry on. And you notice that bus came from around the curve, the curve of the road there. So if the bus wasn't, like, you know, you could see it properly and it came out, you want to wait for the bus first. Don't come out in front of traffic. But the bus came kind of after our learner had already been moved, and that was a very nice way he dealt with that roundabout there. You don't need to go super like all the way around, but people have failed there for going too much to the right and just going straight over it. So just be careful of that. Dealt with nicely again. Coming out to the end of the road. So this zebra crossing is right by the giveaway line. So if there's no one waiting to cross, you can just go forward and block the crossing a little bit like this, and then make your turn if it's safe. So you don't need to wait behind the crossing, because I know people, they get taught, you know, don't block the crossing. But in a situation where the crossing is right by the giveaway line, you need to go forward, otherwise you can't see from behind the crossing. You need to go onto the crossing and then check the sides of the road to make sure it's safe. So then once this person, okay, there's another person waiting, because sometimes people wait by the crossing, they wait until you stop. So you see the first person went, and then the second person was still waiting. So you don't think, oh, they're just, you know, hanging around there. You need to stop for them, and then once they've decided to cross, then you can carry on after they're finished. But if they're still waiting, make eye contact with them and see if they're actually waiting for you to stop or if they're just hanging around there. But in the first place, don't assume that they're just hanging around. Always assume they're going to cross, and then afterwards, if they're not going to cross, then you carry on. Okay, so we're turning left to where we started, and that's pretty much it, guys, back at Mill Hill Test Center. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Check out the other videos for more tips and more mock tests, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.